Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with episode 8 of our journal page series. So this is where we are creating ephemera right on the journal page, a signature page in your journal. These are all designed to be, at least what I have done, to be done outside of the journal and then put in. They're actually a journal page. So let me show you the template. It is a double page waterfall, vertical waterfall. Well, let me show you the beautiful one first. So this is the prototype, and I'll show you the template in a second. So basically we have this waterfall over here. So let me open it up for you so you can see. Hoping that that pin is not going to be in the way. It looks like it's going to be okay. I put a little dangle on there. So as long as I pull that out correctly, we'll be good. So it's a waterfall here. So you got writing space, writing space, writing space, writing space, writing space. So it is like a mini little journal book. And then over here, when I did this, I meant to reverse these, which you'll see in the template in a second, and have the waterfall facing the right direction. I did not turn my papers, which will make sense. So I just fixed it the way that I do most things. And I made a belly band, and I Velcroed it to the back of the other page, and now it opens. So now we've got this going the opposite way. I didn't want to fiddle with these. This was really challenging to do, and I don't know. I mean, it's effective and cute, but I'm going to just put some seam binding underneath each of these pieces before we glue that first piece on. So that is the one that I made. It's my prototype. So, and I just put a wax seal on the other side. So I'm going to set that aside. And this is the paper we're going to be working with, which we'll talk more about in a moment. This is the template. So I didn't put any eyelets or anything on this. I mean, I like the look of this. It was just really kind of tricky to line this up. And then I didn't like that this was the opposite direction. And it just seemed, oh no, it's not the opposite direction. It's tucked in. So, you know, I don't know. You could totally do this. So you can see here, I've just put a whale tail tab on the back of the actual signature page, because this base is the signature page. And then I did my waterfall, put another one here. This one doesn't wrap around. I just glued it together to itself, and then glued it, and just I spied that, made sure it was about even, and the same with this side. I didn't punch that hole, but that's okay. So you can see on this one versus my template or my prototype that they're going opposite directions, which is what I wanted. So the measurements here, the first waterfall is 3.5 by 8. The second is 4 by 8. The third is 4.5 by 8, and the fifth one is 5 by 8. Now, there is also a quarter inch, let me show you. Sorry. A 1/4 inch hinge. And so on each of those pages, you would want to add a 1/4 inch. But I just, when I did it, I just scored my paper. Each of my pieces I scored at a 1/4, and then I measured from there. But we'll do that together, and hopefully that will make a ton of sense. So I love this. I love waterfall features because it's a lot of writing space with very little impact in terms of thickness. So if you look at this, it's just a page. Now, as many of you know, I typically print all my papers on 65-pound paper. The base, the journal page, is 65-pound. All of the rest is, I believe it's a 49-pound paper. And so it's thicker, but it's not as heavy as the 65-pound. I think that's a good choice in terms of these folds. You're going to be seeing that all of the hinges are going to be overlapping each other. So they're going to build up quite a bit of bulk there on this inner edge here. So let's get going without further ado and show you how we make this. So I will tell you, it does take quite a bit of paper. So I have, this is my journal page. So it's the one printed on the 65-pound paper. And then this is, I printed 3 on, oh, I printed 4. So that's the other thing when I did the prototype, which is probably what threw me when I didn't reverse the waterfalls. I had only printed 2 pages. You need 4 because you need 2 pieces, 2-ish for each of your waterfall pieces. So you need 2 sheets for one side, 2 sheets for the other side. So we're going to start by looking at our journal page. I can't remember if I cut this down to size, but I want it to measure 5 1/4 across by 8 1/4 inches high. So let me get my bone folder here. Okay, so that is now of course you could have this be a completely different journal page. I just thought it would be cool to have this here, and then you open it up and you see the same design. I've got some white there that didn't get cut off, but that is okay. So let's look and see if I did pre-cut this. I cannot remember. You know, a sleep has already happened, so, oh, I did not. So that's measuring 5, oh, it is 5 1/4, sorry. 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. You could make these any size you want for any journal you want. You would just, all your measurements for your waterfall elements would need to be based on your journal page size. So that is that. Okay, so I will do some inking all at once because we'll want to ink at least around the inside edges of all this, but we'll get to that. So I've got my cutter over here to my right. Actually, I think I might bring it over on camera. I don't have too terribly much on my desk today, so I did some cleaning up. I told you guys I was going to go through my scraps. I did. I went through all of my scraps, and I went through a big overflowing basket of lace, and so I sorted it out, the bigger pieces, so that it can go in another basket, and I feel so much better. Let me show you what they look like now. This is what they look like minimized. So this is just small scraps because I'm beginning to sort things that I want to use for Junk Journal Junk Journal January, excuse me. And then this is all I have for the smaller pieces of lace and seam bindings remnants. So just in case you're curious about that. So what we're going to do is, these are not even. So what is the deal? I want to make sure they're all going the right direction. And then let's get this cutter over here so I can see what's going on, that those are not the same. They are not the same. I've got a little bit of a lip. So I'm going to chop that down there, and then I'm going to just get this in here, and I'm going to even those up. That's really, really important. The other thing, so as you noticed, my journal page I said was 8 1/4 inches tall. I guess it's not. I'm going to go a little shorter just so I can even that edge up, because I didn't want it to be the exact same size as the journal page. So I'm just trimming this off. It's going to be just slightly, like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the than 8 1/4. So there we go. Problem with this is it's so big. I have to move it, bring it back, move it, bring it back. So actually, I'm so stuck on this because it's such a big mama. I'm trying to think about the best way to do this. So when you're looking at your papers, you want to think about how you want them to be stacked. And I believe that since I only have basically, I don't have much space that's actually got an image on it. So I want to be strategic about how I cut my pieces. I would like this to be on the top. So what I did on my prototype is I cut one of my pieces, you know, the smallest one, which is let me better pull that prototype back, or that template back over, because my memory's bad. So the first top piece is 3 1/2. So I'm going to cut this 3 1/2, and then I'll push this one. I'll maybe skip and do the next, skip this one, have the 4 by 8 be this part of the paper, have the next one be the rest of the berries and a little bit of that paper, maybe turn it around. We'll see how that goes, because I did pick an image that's got quite a bit of just background kind of paper. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, let's just bring the cutter over. this big mama, but she's so accurate. And for this waterfall element, accuracy is pretty important for your cuts. So the first thing that we're going to do, oh, but I need to score. Okay, we're going to use the other one because I cannot go back and forth. I just cannot do it today. So we've got the little cutter. I am so sorry for all of the waffling. It's going to be difficult for you to see everything. I do apologize. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take my paper and I'm going to score this edge at 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just putting that in my thing here, and then I'm just going to score at 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to turn the paper so that now my score line is on this side. And I'm going to, oh no, wait a minute. No, then I folded it. I went ahead and folded my little hinge there. And it's been a couple days since I did the prototype and the template. So now it's folded. So now I can go with my measurements, which are the first one is 3.5. So we're going to go ahead and from that folded edge, that's where our hinge is. Let me move that mouse. That's where our hinge is. I'm going to go 3.5 inches. And again, you could do this any way you want. In terms of size, you could have them be closer together, whatever you want. I just didn't want it to be too much. So there's that one. So that is our 3.5 by 8 piece. And then I'm going to turn this, well, I'm going to score this edge because I'm going to turn this eventually and have that be the next one. So I'm going to score this one at 1/4 of an inch. Score, not cut, Cara-Renee. I always have to tell myself that. Are you like that? Like if I tell myself something verbally out loud, I have far more possibility of remembering what I said. And so what's going to happen, because this is going to go under it, then I'm going to get some of that, just that solid paper. So my next one is a 4 by 8. So I'm going to, again, this is my scored edge that's already folded over, and I'm going to cut at 4 inches. So as you can tell, each of my dimensions are 1/4 of an inch different. I mean, what was that? 1/2 of an inch difference. So, okay, so that's that one. So that's going to slide under there. Okay. Oh, lovely. I like it. Okay. So now this is too small. So we have to cut into another piece, and that's why you need so much paper. So if that's really precious to you, you'll want to think about how you want to do that. So this one, I'm going to turn it. Let's see, let me think about this. So, I want to score it on the other side. I want to score it on this side. So let me just jimmy rig this one a little bit, and that's 4.5. So I'm going to do 4 and, so that's 4.5. So I'm going to do 4 3/4, and that will give me my my bit for the extra bit. So that's 4 3/4. Oh, I'm going to measure that because that part right there just messes me up. So what did I just say? 4 3/4. Oh my goodness. I hope you're still hanging out with me. So I don't trust that part of my score tool because it's on that part where that thing folds. You know what I mean, the thing. So we're going to go 4 3/4 here, and I'm just going to make a mark just to make sure my score tool is not lying to me. Okay. So 4 yeah, see, I would have done that wrong. So we'll measure this out again. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Okay. And then I'm going to score it. So now if I score it at the 4.5, yep, that'll be right. I'm a little bit off there, but that's okay. So now I'm going to score this edge because I want to turn this whole thing around so it's like that. Okay. You could do what you want. It's going to depend on your image itself, what you chose. Okay, so there's that. So now we can fold that in. I'm sorry if that messed you up. It's a little tricky when you kind of have something in your mind. So then that's going to be there. So you see how they're a 1/2 of an inch difference. That one's a little off because I did not exactly cut it on that pencil mark. but it's not a perfect art. So, and then the last one is 5 by 8. So I'm just going to score on this edge because I want that solid paper. And I just so happened this, I can't remember where I got this paper, but I have it saved on my desktop as one of my favorite coffee dyed or tea stain paper. And it actually matches the tones in this paper perfectly. I was like, oh my gosh, what are the chances of that? So I'm going to score that one again at 1/4 of an inch. Okay. And then just give that a good fold. It's pretty thin paper. So I can't even remember if it's what the weight is. I think it is 49 pound. I'll have to look at my packaging. Okay, so there we go. And then now from that line, we're going to cut at 5 inches. So I'm just going to make sure that my scored edge, folded edge is at the 5-inch mark on my cutter. And I'm going to trim off the extra like that. Okay, we set this score tool aside from the cutter. And we are going to, so this is what it's going to look like, okay? I love that. I love that so much. But now I need to take a moment and I'm going to ink up the edges of the inside of the journal page and all of the sides of this side of our thing. So don't you let me forget when we do the other side, I need to flip the papers, okay? Don't let me forget. And I'm going to follow this same pattern if I can remember. If I can remember, that's a big if. I'll be right back. Okay, just getting to the end of the inking, I just realized that some of the top of these waterfall pieces will also be able to be written on because they've got that plain background. So that'll be kind of cool. So I'm going to set that aside there, and then we're going to just flip these over and we're going to let the magic begin. So the other thing I did do, I did not ink that edge, did I? Is I inked the center because it's kind of hard to get these lined up. And when we're doing this, we're going to be watching the top and bottom to make sure that we're even or leaving the same amount of space. And we start, so we want to get our ribbon. Oh, I almost forgot our ribbon. That has to go on first. So what I do with my seam binding is I need to, this is all I have, I think. So I need to be conscientious here. So, oh, that's more than enough. Okay, let's shorten that. This was never bound or, what do you call that? When you spool it, it hasn't been spooled, so it's really curly still. So I'm going to go ahead and I just want to make sure I have enough for both sides. So I'm going to just give that a cut. Okay. And then I'm going to find the middle again, and I'm going to kind of stretch it out so I can make sure I get it as much of the middle as I possibly can. Okay. All right. So I'm going to pinch that there, and then I'm going to glue that right here. Okay. So I'm just going to glue it. Let me just make a pencil mark. I think that will be easier. And I'm just eye spying. I'm not looking for perfection. So I'm just going to put a line there, and that way I know where my thing's going to go. I just lost the middle, but I can fix that. So I'm going to use a little bit of Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to put it right here. Okay, I don't need it to go the whole, well, oh, this is going to go, this might be regrettable because it's going to go, what we'll do probably is, because our seam binding is going to go in the real project, it's going to go here. So we're going to lose this pager. So what I would do is I would just put another piece of paper over there to preserve that writing space. Not a big deal, especially since I used lighter paper. So I'm going to go ahead and place this on there, right there. Okay. Oop, get it straight. Get it straight. Ish. Okay. And I'm going to grab my paper towel so I don't get myself all sticky. And I just press that and just get that to stick nicely. Okay. So now the struggle is going to be real because this is going to get in my way. So I'm going to get a paper clip and clip that just so it stays out of my hair, figuratively. Okay. And probably should do the same with this. Let's just do the same with this. Just trying to get it out of the way. It's sort of like your hair, you know, when you're trying to do something important. Okay, there we go. So now we can start with our first piece, and you're starting with the smallest piece, and we're going to put glue just on this edge, on this hinge part. And I used the white glue before and I did not have any trouble. So I think I'm going to do that because it's a faster stick. So you could, of course, do what you want to do. Yeah, do what you want to do. Do what works for you. Just getting plenty there. And then we're just going to pick it up. And before you set it down and solid, you want to look top to bottom and make sure that it's even-ish top to bottom. And we don't run it right up to the center. Leave a little bit of space. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit so we're a little bit evener. Okay, give that a push. I like to open it right away just to make sure that I don't get any glue, any unexpected glue. So that's going to be fantastic. I hope that was long enough. Yeah, it was. Panic 101. Okay, and then the next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the glue, don't put it on that glue part, on here. Same process, but we're going to butt it up, and you could ink that on the opposite side of that fold, but I can see it okay. So I'm just going to lay that down, and I'm going to just lay it right on top of that other piece of paper. So this is the part where I was talking about how things are going to begin to stack a little bit, and you do want to kind of I spy and make sure that this is not slanting down or up, that it looks, you know, pretty even. That looks really good. And then I open it up again to make sure there's no excess glue. And I'm going to proceed on. I have to make one more of these for my reference journal, so I will make another one and show it to you guys in the photos at the end. Sometimes I'll just do that with some other random paper that I like just to play. That looks really good. And then the other thing you can do is kind of close these and see that they're lining up along the bottom. It's pretty good. It's not perfect, but you know what I say? Actually, that's not even, goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. There we go. The trouble with using the white glue is you don't have as much time to move it. So, and using the seam binding this way, oh my goodness, that is not straight. What did we do? Well, it's close enough. It always looks worse when you turn it and you're looking at the back side for some reason. I'm not sure why that is, but I feel like this could go over a little bit. I don't know if we can still move it. With the white glue, you don't get as much time to move it. And then the same here, we're going to put the glue on this edge, the flap. Maybe I'll make a smaller one for the reference journal just so you can see that you can do it in various sizes. So again, we're going to put this, and we've always got the flap there, okay, the hinge, and we're going to do the same. We're going to line that up. Okay, line that up. And God willing, it's all straight. Things look a little bit wonky at the top. I guess not. It's just my perspective. Isn't that true though? Perspective is everything. So see what I mean? We would want to put a piece of paper here because you don't want to write over that thing. The other thing one could do is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you resolve that. So I'll have to print another piece, but I will put another piece of paper on here for writing. So that is that. So let's go ahead and loosen these. And this is the easier way than doing the whale tail tabs, telling you right now. Look at that. Okay, but that has to be glued all the way because otherwise it's just going to pull up. So let's go ahead and do that. Sometimes I don't know until I try. I'm just going to use the white glue, see if it works. Okay. The only problem is now when a person writes on this, you're going to be writing on top of that seam binding, but it's not thick or anything. It's not curled, it's just going to be laying flat. So let's just do that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get my paper towel again and press that out so I can keep my fingers from sticking to everything. There we go. Beautimous. We're not going to tie that off because I don't want to, that's wet. Actually going to grab that parchment that I pulled off of the other piece and just stick it here so that we don't stick those pages together as we're working. So basically you would just tie this over here and it would tie on the outside of the journal. This is brilliant, if I do say so myself. Which I do. There we go. So I'm just going to clip that. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up so that you can see it again, but not quite in real time. And I'm going to cut the other pieces and get ready for the other side. And I'm going to be turning everything. So again, provided I remember. Short-term memory is a problem. Okay. Okay, so that is all of the cutting done. So let me bring this back over and just show you how this is lining up. I showed you kind of I held it up so you could see, but we've got the same thing going on, just the opposite direction. Okay, like so. Beautimous. So if it was like that, it would be the same as that, but now we're going to turn it over and it's going to be off center here, you know, opposite, but it still looks fantastic. So I'm going to take a moment to ink this up and I'll be right back. There we go. So, oh, I got one more bit. So you could also round the corners on your edges. I'm not going to do that on this one. Maybe I'll do that on the one that I do for the reference journal, just so that you guys can see like kind of the aesthetic look that would have. I think it would be really pretty to have these, the outside corners, yeah, rounded. So I'm just going to put this back in order. I do realize it's backwards right now. We want to make sure we fix that, but we will fix it when we glue it on. Okay, so there we are. So again, if we left it like this, it would look like this, which you could totally do. Which actually, I don't think it really matters, honestly. But I just thought I liked the idea of them opening like that. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got it going in the right direction now. I get confused easily, so we'll leave that there. And then I'm going to get my seam binding, and I'm going to, I wish I had checked my length on that. Let's see. I can do this the hard way, right? I'm going to go from here, and I'm just going to stretch that out and just I don't want to waste a bunch of this, so that's why I'm doing that. So that's my half. Okay, so now I need half more. Boom. See how much I would have wasted? Oh, that one's got a cut in it, though. Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay. So, shoot, that's got a cut in it. I think it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Fine, she says. Here we go. Okay. Oh, I need this one. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find our center-ish. Okay, like that. This is my center, so I'm just going to pinch that. And I'm going to get my, my Fabri-Tac. This is the point that's going to have the most pressure, in my opinion, so that's why I'm using the Fabri-Tac. Got confused there for a second. Okay, so this is going to go here, and I'm just going to line it up to the other one just to try to get it the same place. It's a little hard because it's sticky, so I need to reach for that paper towel again and give that a push. And this also will, should be able to move it if I need to. So I'm just going to kind of hold these strings up so I can see. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and glue this all down so that we don't have that mistake again and have it wiggling around. So I will cover this with some other paper. I'm not sure what layer, probably the same weight as I'm using for the pages. So, which is unfortunate. If you did the whale tail closure, you wouldn't have to do that because the writing space is not being impacted. So I'm just going to go ahead and push that down. The other thing one could do, if you didn't want to put a whole nother piece of paper on it, you could put a belly band here, a horizontal belly band, and put some cards behind there or something. I might do that rather than waste another piece of paper. We'll see how I feel as I get going. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's what we wanted, right? Yes. I'm going to pull all these strings over here because I'm getting all kinds of discombobulated. Just get these out of the way. Okay. I'm going to just reach and shut my door. It's getting close to my husband coming home, and I don't want a bunch of noise. He doesn't usually come in like that, but you never know. You never know. Oh boy. That's shorter. What did you do, Cara-Renee? That is shorter. Oh well, we will deal with it. Okay, so now the gluing begins. So this might throw you, but I'm going to turn this because I need the angle to be where I can see it. So this is the direction, which it doesn't matter because it can go either direction. I could turn this completely and it would be the same. It's a mirror, almost a mirror image. But I want it that way so that I can get in here and do this easier. So just checking that. Okay. So again, we're going to go in with our white glue. Sorry, I was off camera. The more I'm touching this paper, the more I feel like it's maybe a 32-pound paper. So I will, when I edit, I'll put a note on the screen so that I can confirm that for you. But yeah, I think it might be a 32-pound. I think on the one I do off camera, I'll do the whale tail punches, and I'll cover this one with paper off camera, but the other one I will, well, no, because this is the one that that we'd have to cover. I might do some belly bands on here, but you'll be able to see that in a picture, what I end up deciding, which is always interesting to figure out. So there we go. So just give that a good press. Okay, and then let's go ahead and undo that, and there we go. So we've got opposite. Isn't that amazing, if I do say so myself? So I guess that did work out okay. So technically, oh, that's the broken part. Oh man. So let's see where that's compromised. So I'm going to have to tie these in the middle I just don't have a choice because I don't want that weak part to be, I mean, I could probably go out here a little bit. But that's a bummer. Bummer. I did not see that that got damaged. It might have been damaged by me, probably, more than likely. Okay, there. Oh, that's not tight. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. So I'm going to really pull this, okay, so that I can get that bow a little bit tighter. I think I actually prefer the whale tail idea because you have none of these problems. So you do you though, okay? That's really quite beautiful though. I love that look. That's a little bit long. That one's about right. So we're just tying it off about at this level. So I'm going to do the same over here, which this one is also shorter. What did I do? What did I do? We're not going to have room to do that. Oh my gosh, Cara-Renee, terrible skills. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull that. We may have to make our little ends on that other one shorter because I screwed this up. Our little bows smaller. Yeah, we'll just make the bows smaller. It's okay. Just gonna pull those ends a little bit, like so, and then I can clip off a little bit more. That weak part, I'm not feeling that at all. Okay. So we've got a really short end on this one, but who's going to examine it? But that's what it looks like. How Christmassy is that? Very, very, very festive. So I'll do some decorating on this. Not a lot because I just think it's absolutely stunning the way it is. So I will be very minimalistic when I do that. And so then when it goes into the signature, it's going to be, this is where it's going to be sewn. And then you've got that beautiful other side, and boom. That is our project for today. I forgot to let you guys look and see what the measurements are. Actually, on the part of the video when I edit it, I'll put these measurements in the part where I sped it up a little bit, or where I'm speeding it up, and just put them on the screen. So that your first, number 1, 3.5 by 8, number 2, etc. And I'll also make a note that you need to allow that 1/4 inch for the for your flap. So that is it for today, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me and hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next video. If you are liking the content on the channel, I'm forgetting to do this, and I really, really need to. If you like what you're seeing, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Again, if you love it, if you're like, yeah, I'm not sure, of course, totally don't do that. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I put up a new video. I do videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays most weeks, and we have a lot of fun here. We have a very loving community. You'll notice that as you get to know people in the comments and you're reading other people's comments, people will like what you say and respond to what you say. It's really a beautiful thing that we've created on this channel. So I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.